Hi, Scott here, CEO of Pillow, in this video series named In Defence of Serviced Accommodation. And in this little video I want to cover the allegation that serviced accommodation is bad for communities and the areas in where we operate. So the premise of this argument is there's all these people coming, they're not from the area, they're renting this property, so rather than someone living there permanently and being part of the community and being a permanent residence, these people are transient, they're only here for a week, they don't care, and they just come and go and leave. So this is a valid one. It's one I hear all the time and I see online. So my argument to that, again, pretty simple argument to actually put forward, is that if you're an owner-occupier or a rental person living in that area and you stay there as your principal home, you're going to cook at home, you are going to be bringing money from the area. Let's say I record this in Ayrshire. So if I'm renting in Ayrshire, I'm bringing my wages that have been generated in Ayrshire, I'm recirculating Ayrshire money into the economy. And who goes, if you're out in Ayrshire, you might go to Glasgow or Edinburgh, further afield, you might spend your money out with your area because it's a little treat. You're certainly going to go on holiday and spend your money in Spain or all these areas. So when it comes to the economy, the economic reason, the economic argument is totally invalid that service accommodations do bad things. Because if we had 50 properties and they were normal rentals or owner-occupiers, those people would spend a hell of a lot of money in the local economy than tourists would. And that's statistically proven. There's statistics there to tell you exactly how much guests spend, domestic, international, and from your own country, whether it's Scotland or England. So we can find these statistics and we know that they spend more money in local economies, they get more taxis, they get more, they spend money on local attractions, they get cafes, restaurants, all these things. An example where we're based, we had 50 properties and we brought in £1 million to the local economy. This is £1 million of new money. We added it up from guests overseas that would not have been in the area initially. We brought £1 million of new money into our local authority where our HQ is based. Now, that wouldn't happen with 50 average people renting those properties or living in those properties, because they would have just spent the average, they would have went to shops and stuff like that, of course, they would have went to supermarkets, but the money from supermarkets and paying money into big massive corporations don't go to the local economy, they go to shareholders, they go to London, they go overseas. But the tourists are spending money, they want to experience local culture, so they're going to go to local restaurants. Yes, they're going to go to big Frankie and Benny's and big chains, but they're going to spend a lot more money in other smaller stuff as well. So I think serviced accommodation in any area, whether it's a small village or a town or a city, brings money in, new money into the economy, that are spending money in gift shops, local attractions, that, you know, people supporting people with taxis, all these things. I think it's an amazing thing. So the argument that it's bad to areas, I don't believe it is. And perhaps these transient people that don't integrate into the community, there's a very, very tiny fraction of a percentage of properties in any area that are serviced accommodation. So it doesn't matter. These people could sit in the house. No one, because you're in a community doesn't mean to say you actively participate in that community. So there's many people sitting and they don't know their neighbours and they've lived next door for 10 years, they don't know their neighbour's name. So it happens with owner-occupiers, and it's a tiny fraction of properties that are on the serviced accommodation market, and I think the effect of people not interacting in the community would probably be negligible. But I'd love your thoughts and experiences on this.